Hey guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books. What is today? It is Tuesday, um, April 12th, 2022. What is the single hardest thing you will have to do to grow your business beyond yourself? Because when you are self employed, um, a, uh, what is it called? A sole proprietor. That's the word I was looking for. Self employed or sole proprietor, you have to do everything. So when it comes to reselling, you have to find inventory. So you've got to find sources, go out and get that inventory. Then you've got to scan, look up, sort through that inventory to find the stuff that you can resell. And then you have to get it in good condition, maybe resurface or clean up the disc, maybe replace a case, maybe take off some stickers of books, that kind of thing. And you've got to list it either on Amazon or eBay, or if you're selling locally, put it in your shop, put it on your shelf. And then you've got to ship things out, you've got to deal with customers. You have to do everything, right? You've got to pay your rent. So you're always constantly juggling and making decisions and having to do everything. You can't just sit around. When you sit around, nothing gets done, right? And so for the last 7.5 years, getting closer to 8 years, I've been reselling by myself, except for little tiny spurts here and there when I have gotten help. For the first 5 years, it was just me. But what is the biggest thing to grow that beyond being a sole proprietor, beyond being self-employed? What I think the biggest thing is letting things go, losing control, and having to come to the realization that your business is not always going to be run exactly the way that you want it to be, to a T, and that even if you train somebody, even if you get a good team around you, you'd have to relinquish a lot of control and sort of, hope that things go well. Of course, you want to have systems in place and all that kind of stuff, and things written out, which is what I'm working on. But I think the biggest thing, and this is me speaking personally, of course, is letting that go, is realizing that in order for you to step away, in order for me to say, hey, I'm going to go, I'm not going to come in. I'm open today from 8 to 4, let's say, but I'm not going to come in until 12 or 1, and someone else is going to have to run my business while I'm gone. You just have to relinquish control. Know things aren't always going to be done the way that you would have done it, for good or for bad, right? Better or for worse. And that's just how it is. You've got to kind of come to that realization. If you're going to work by yourself, then you're always going to do the things, the way you want to do them. You're going to make the decisions based upon what you feel is the best thing to do. Now, there's always a cap as to how much your business can grow when you're doing it all by yourself, right? There's only so many hours you have. There's only so many products you can find and list and sell. And you can still make a lot of money. You can still make, 6 figures. You can make maybe multiple 6 figures if you're finding high profit items and you're working hard at it. You have to work a lot of hours. But if you really want to grow your business exponentially and make much, much more money, and also at the same time, not just money, but free yourself up from having to do so much, you're going to have to hire people. I'm going to have to hire people. You're going to have to hire people, and let that control go. And that's just how it is. I mean, think about any business, right? Whether it's just a local store or a chain that has like 3 or 4 stores, a fast food restaurant where there's a bunch of them, or let's say there's the person that owns like 10 fast food restaurants in a particular chain, whatever it is. I mean, they have systems in place, turnkey business, right? You come in, people get trained, they learn it, and then they just do it over and over and over and over and over again. But guess what? They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to maybe handle customers as well, even though they're trained. Maybe they're going to make poor decisions here and there. That's just how it is. But you know what? Overall, as long as it's not anything too disastrous, as long as it's not something that they're ruining your reputation or destroying property or whatever it may be, harming customers or something like that, crazy. It should be fine, right? So it just for me, the hardest thing is definitely doing that. It's not finding more inventory. It's not um, putting more stuff out for sale, growing Amazon. It's dealing with people and knowing that they are, over time, as you get the right people in place, they are the ones that are going to run your business for the most part. And you have to kind of let that go and say it's not going to be 100% how I want it, but do I want more freedom and more money? Of course, also it costs more, right, to pay people to work for you. So it means your company has to make more money in order to pay for them. So I think that's the biggest, hardest thing, at least so far for me, has coming to that realization that if I really want to go beyond working myself to the bone, which is what I've been doing, especially this year, 2022, is I've got to hire people and trust them and put even a basic system in place of how to deal with everything. Write it down. That's what I'm working on, is writing it down. And I'm gonna have to go through that and revise it and get better with that, to the point to where here's, I slap down a piece of paper or however many pages it is. Here's how you run the store, right? Here's how you open the store, every single step. Here's how we deal with trade credit. Here's how we deal with um, uh, customers that are upset, whatever it is, right? All that kind of stuff. And that takes time. That's more work on me, my part. So I have to put in that kind of work to prepare that in order to get to the point where I can have people who are trained and trust them and say, oh, well, I'm just going to, instead of me working all, Saturday, I'll come in for maybe a couple hours or an hour, just check in, come in at the end when they're closing, stuff like that. And with the idea of, this is just talking about my local store, with the idea of being open, many more days. Or what about Amazon? Or I should say eBay, listing on eBay. Well, right now I am pursuing hiring somebody to start listing on eBay for me, books on eBay. I have lots and lots and lots of backlog of books to list on eBay, and I know a lot of them will sell. There's some great books in there. So it's training them and knowing that they're going to make mistakes, but I've got to, iron those things out and trust them, and have, not have complete control, but be able to relinquish that and say, hey, I trained them the best I could. Now they're kind of on their own. Of course, I'm not just going to let them do whatever they want, but I'm just saying that as another example, you've got to be able to trust, your team. I mean, look at Shark Tank. When you see all those companies that go in there, get a deal, and go from $50,000 sales to $500,000 to $1 million to $10 million, all that stuff. Well, guess what? They have to grow, and hire, and relinquish control, but have systems in place so that they can have put their time towards bigger things, like how does the company make more money? How do we do this, that, and the other with the company? That kind of stuff, right? And of course, having to manage people and also bringing in more money, but having the freeing up time for that kind of stuff. So for me, that's the hardest thing, right? Growing my business is knowing that in order for this to really happen, I've got to relinquish control and do the best I can to create some sort of system as turnkey as possible so that it's pretty easy to follow. And even if someone if and when, because it will happen, if and when a new employee comes in, last 6 months, and then leaves, and I hire someone else, I can say, look, this is the written down steps of how to run this, how to do this, how to restock, how to open up, how to close, all that stuff. And I've already been through it with other people, so it's quicker for me to train them. Oh, the lights went out. So it's quicker, but I'll say that's the most difficult part for sure. But I've always wanted to grow the business beyond myself. I've wanted to capitalize on the opportunity, and at my still relatively younger age, not young, but I'm not. I'd like to in the next couple of years be able to um, not have to work as much in terms of like the kind of day-to-day stuff, more working on the bigger picture stuff. Although some parts of it I do enjoy, but some of it I'm just gonna have to let go of. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on growing my business beyond myself. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I talk about reselling books and media and everything that has to do with that locally and online, eBay and Amazon. So definitely subscribe to the channel and look for my next video. See you in the next video. Stay safe.